Thank you everyone for joining us on this week's episode of Mullet Family Montana. Join us as I head out to the shop and do a little bit of woodworking. We'll give you an update on the chickens, the eggs that are in the incubator. Join us as we go over to Bonners Ferry for the annual Gun and Horn Show. And then don't forget, stay tuned all the way to the end for the comments. You might just hear your name. For those of you who enjoy woodworking, this pile of scrap leftover material gets turned into something beautiful and useful that's going to go into our office for additional workspace for various things that we need them throughout the year. Here we have a little work table that I had out the shop. Brought it into the house in one of the unfinished rooms in the basement. We're going to be applying the varnish onto it. Probably take 2, maybe 3 coats. It's easier for me to use a roller on a small project like this. Use a roller, back brush it, versus using the air compressor and spraying it on, because I have to thin it down so much. So yeah, sometimes it's just easier to put it on manually. As you can see, I use the roller to apply the materials, and then I brush it multiple ways. And obviously, when I get done, I will finish brushing it with a long way of the grain, not crossways. But I brush it crossways to get all the product on in a uniform manner.
Now that my sourdough challah bread is downstairs by the stove, fermenting, I'm gonna let it there for about an hour. Stuffed meatloaf. Have you ever had that? Well, I'm here to tell you it's delicious and good. I'll have the recipe down in the description, I promise, so you can make it yourself if you want to. This is about 3 pounds of venison. First thing I add is some oatmeal. I always like adding a little bit of oatmeal to my hamburgers. I always think it gives it a great flavor and texture. Some eggs. Sage is one of my favorite seasonings for hamburger or any kind of meat. Now that I have the meatloaf all set and ready, it's time to make the stuffing. Ferry is hosting their annual Gun and Horn Show. And of course, Marvin loves to go to that and just see what they have. So that's what we're doing right now.
So this is it right here. We'll go inside, see what they got. Not sure what those are. Check this out. Right here is a wall of animals, or the racks that got harvested in the last year or so. Just some magnificent antlers that are here. This is kind of the bragging wall. Locals bring their stuff in here, get it stored. This is something that you want to do very quickly, as far as not leaving the eggs exposed to the cooler temperatures of the house. If you leave it open too long or take the cover off too much, they end up condensating. Okay, here we go. I'm going to take this cover over, turn the light on. You can see the chick is developing in there. These green eggs are kind of hard. The pigment is solid enough that it's... Okay, so here we have an egg that's not developing. You guys can see that? It's clear, transparent. That one is not developing. Egg 17. See that? That's solid. That one is developing. By all appearances, everyone except this one egg is developing. Egg 17 is going to get chucked. We do not want that one in here. What can happen if they're not developing? They'll just sit there and basically rot. And after a while, it has happened. It hasn't happened to me. It has happened to quite a few other people. I'm on a Facebook page with backyard chickens, and everyone says if you have an egg that is not fertile, is not developing, get them out of there. What happens is they can sit there and permeate, build pressure, start to decompose, start to rot, build up pressure, and then explode. And then you've got a rotten egg that's exploded in here, and you're gonna smell that in your whole house. Get that one out of there. And we'll let the rest of them develop. At this point, we have 21 eggs that are developing. These green ones here, for some odd reason, there's enough pigment in it that it can be really challenging to see if they're developing or how they're developing. On some other eggs, when you put them in here, like the light brown ones, this light is bright enough you can see through there. You can kind of see the chick, like the bones and the head and everything developing. I have not been able to do that with any of the green ones.
Marvin likes his water. I like the Trim Healthy Naturals Hydrates. A few weeks ago, they had them on sale for a great price, so I got a lot of them. They are a healthy alternative to pops and other sugary drinks.
So why not just drink water?
Because it's flavored water. I like flavored water. I can drink it so much
Use your
easier.
imagination.
No.
We are here again with the comments. The first one, Melissa Lee. We used to hatch chicks too. We ended up with way too many. So we sold a bunch and kept a small flock. Much easier to care for. I enjoy your videos so much. Thank you for sharing. God bless. Yeah, we kind of ended up with too many also. Michael and Emily, when they moved to Alaska, they gave us 11 that we started out with. Up in the sale in Rexford, there's a bunch of them up there that were being sold, just little chicks. Couldn't tell if they were hens or roosters. I bought a crate that had 8 little chicks in it. They were maybe 2-3 weeks old. I had 6 of those that were hens, or no. I had 5 hens and 3 roosters, so I had a really good hen ratio for that batch. And from there, we ended up with, well, I got the incubator, and first thing I knew, I couldn't help myself. We had like 65 chickens on the property.
And I hate to think what the neighbors thought. I mean, there was a lot of crowing going on.
Well, they just started in slow. You know, with chickens, if you hatch them yourself, they're usually a 50% roosters, 50% hens, pullets. And I ended up exactly what I had wanted. I wanted to end up with about 18 to 20 fresh lay hens, which we have, although the only thing I didn't do is butcher all the old ones. So right now we're getting a number I see pretty consistently in eggs is 16, 18, sometimes 20. You know, they're not on an even keel. It goes up and down a little bit, but most days we get 16 eggs, which is plenty for us. Sally Joseph, interesting quick stir fry. I don't eat bacon, great chickens, and the rooster looks handsome. Blessings in Christ Jesus. Yeah,
we don't eat that much bacon either, but
we
occasionally
don't.
we do.
We I guess my family used to butcher pigs before I was born, and then my mom found out that it was extremely unhealthy with all the parasites, so we never had pork or hogs at home.
Yeah.
Mary gets it occasionally, but yeah, we don't eat a whole lot of bacon. Becky Ray, very interesting to hear about the chickens. And here's someone you guys might know, Simon Troyer. I don't know who's more handsome,
Simon.
Marvin or the rooster. I was thinking the rooster might have a leg up. Laugh out loud. You know, it's a big relief that it wasn't just cut and dried the rooster. I at least have a chance.
I don't know who's more handsome, Marvin or the rooster. Simon?
Maybe you could give me some makeup and we'll go out and redo that.
I like you just the way you are. Yeah, that's my Uncle Simon. And if you remember, I did a video on the book that he wrote.
Leaving the Amish to serve with honor.
Mm-hmm. I will link that video in the description.
So Simon is going to be coming out here again in the near future in May this spring. So looking forward to having him around.
Greetings from Texas. It's not an exotic, faraway place like some who comment. I will share that my hometown is the same as Mary's father, Ben, Bern, Indiana. I lived the first 68 years of my life in Bern area until we moved to Texas to be near our daughter and family after we retired. Ben actually called me after I shared with him via email. We had a nice visit talking about memories of Bern. I know nothing about sourdough.
Talking about sourdough, the last week or so, the sourdough bread has been really good.
Yeah, I actually did some improvements.
Have you been measuring out diligently
I
the
have.
grains instead of the Three Stooges style dumping?
Yep.
Because it's been consistent. It's been really, really good. One of these days, I'm going to go back to Texas. I've been there a couple of times. Went down there pig hunting. Got a couple of javelinas. Always thought I was going to go back, like make this a yearly thing that I do. Then I ended up dating, got married, had kids, and now I have more responsibilities than what I did. And it's always been in the back burner to go to Texas again in the middle of the winter, just to chill, maybe hunt some hogs, just get away and do something different again. So
you went to Texas before we got married.
Yeah, first time was in 2002, and then the second time was in 2005. We started dating in 2006, got married in 2007.
In Christ alone. You commented, I followed you last year when you hatched your eggs. I'm looking forward to watching this year too. I love your channel. I don't always comment, but I love the Christ-centered content. God bless you all.
Tomorrow we're heading out. It's the annual February camping trip, and I don't even know which one it is. 23 maybe, the 23rd year. A bunch of the guys get together. We go camping. This year we're going to be camping on a lake, do some fishing. And about 2 years ago, I thought I might be getting old enough that I can now stay home. I'm the oldest guy there. All the other guys are mainly youth guys and young married. But now I have boys that, they're not going to put up with dad staying home because he's the one that gets the stuff together and makes it happen. So yeah, they are so excited.
And
I mean, months, even last summer, they kept talking about going on the February camping trip again. It's a big highlight for the kids because just all guys getting together, hanging out, having fun.
yeah, there's a lot of minors going to be there. So yeah, the guys always make sure it's safe and child friendly.
Yeah.
And you just sit around, campfire, just have a good old time, share memories, sing hymns, and
You know, 18, 20 years ago when we did this, there weren't as many guys and they were all kind of older. And we had a lot of guns and shooting going on.
but this was, you would go way back in the
Yeah,
woods.
this was when we, so this kind of started out as the He-Man earn your man card or keep it updated. We'd hike miles, I mean, way back up in the mountains, and there was one time we went, it was 12 below zero. And just to prove that we were men and we could do it, but we realized that when we do that, like the hardcore pack in, a lot of guys get left at home, the younger ones. And over the years, and then we, maybe 8-10 years ago, we realized that, well, it's maybe not just about proving ourselves as much as the fellowship with, and just hanging out, sharing testimonies, praying for each other, etc. So yeah, in the last 8-10 years, I think it's pretty much transitioned to being able to drive somewhere. And there's 2 years in particular that come to mind where the snow was thigh deep. Yeah. It was 3.5 foot deep. We almost couldn't go. One guy would break trail for maybe 100 yards or so. Then he'd drop back. The next guy would go breaking trail. We took shovels, and the table we had was simply just shoveling a bunch of snow out and leaving a bunch. Flatten that up, put our food on top of there. There was one year in particular that I remember. We went in, cut some firewood, and started burning, and it melted down and melted down and melted down. And it melted down to the point where the fire was a good 2 foot lower than the snow, and it formed a big ring. So we just sat right on the snowbank and had a big circle right around the fire. And then there's been other years where it's been warm and rainy. I'm gonna tell you, it is nasty camping in the wintertime when it's raining because you cannot keep dry. We've camped when it's been really cold, snowing. Not a problem because you can shake the snow off you, but when it's raining, it is not fun to go camping.
Arlene Miller, you write, howdy from Ohio. We love stir fry as well, but I usually serve it over steamed rice. Yeah, that's good.
I love steamed rice.
Yes. We love making stir fry with shrimp. Oh, I do too. And veggies. I never made any with bacon, so may have to try it sometime. Hi, thanks Mary. Was just sitting here thinking, what will I make for dinner? And your video popped up. So stir fry it is, and can't wait to see the chicks. Have a blessed week. Those chicks are going to be hatching here pretty soon.
We have 9 more days until hatching days. I usually try to get them to hatch like on a Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday, but this time they're going to be hatching probably Sunday into Monday. So it's kind of you gotta kind of babysit them when the chicks are hatching.
I want to thank all of you for joining us this time. It's been almost 2 weeks since our last video. Yeah, like always, if I get too busy, the kids are in school, Marvin's work has really picked up.
Yeah, it's been kind of a long week for work.
Yes. And can you guess what I have here? I picked this up at the post office. It's the paperwork for a P.O. box. So pretty soon I'm going to be putting a post office box address in the description. So if you want to write, feel free to do that. We would love to hear from you.
Yes.
And thanks again, all of you who joined us, and thank you for all your comments. Don't forget to give us a like, subscribe, and of course, leave a comment.